This is our visual rhetorical analysis of the painting The Muse's Revenge by Ilya Milstein. The painting depicts a girl in a dress standing and pointing a gun at a man on the floor. The house that they're in has several paintings of naked women, some of them being the woman who is standing currently. This painting's overall message is the abuse artists' muses often receive and how this muse in particular is taking revenge on the artist who profited off her vulnerability. It's a complex issue that will be discussed further later in our analysis. But first I'd like to talk about the details in this painting that illustrate the pathos Milstein employs to get his point across. The paint chipping, for example. Every detail in a painting is planned out by the artist and rarely is something that is just a stylistic choice, especially in a piece with a message like this one. Here, the paint chipping the overall state of disarray the house is in can be taken to represent the broken relationship between the artist and the muse. Another detail I want to focus on is how the muse is dressed versus the paintings that depict her. The woman with the gun is dressed conservatively in a flowing coral pink gown, whereas the woman in all but one of the paintings are missing clothes. Here, the muse has chosen to display herself the way that feels comfortable to her, but when it came up to the artist, he wanted her naked, vulnerable. There's also a point to be made about how the artist is profiting off of the objectification of women's bodies instead of creating something a bit more meaningful with his art. Next, I'd like to talk about the switch in power that has taken place in this painting. Here, the muse is in power as the one with the gun, but in her relationship with the artist, he was always the one in power, thus creating an imbalance and an unhealthy relationship. One last detail I'd like to talk about is the contrast between the color palette of this painting and the message it depicts. The colors are light and airy, and it appears to be a sunny day outside. There's light blues and greens and pinks. These colors catch your eye and pull you in, and figuring out what the piece is about gets you to stay and keep looking. The message itself is considered a dark one, but as it shows the victim becoming the victor, perhaps the colors are not only there to pull you in, but to also show the muse in a positive light.
While many muses have developed great relationships with their artists, some other muses have essentially signed their lives and freedoms away to be little more than exploited for the artist's gain. Artists can be overwhelmingly demanding and give little care for their muse's health and well-being. Over time, this can be extremely harmful and put the lives of the muses in danger. In one modern case, Kaori, the muse of a Japanese photographer Araki, described that she often felt treated as if she were only living in the pictures and wasn't allowed to have a voice away from the art. The sexual nature of her images also led some of Araki's followers to stalk Kaori, break into her home, or even rifle through her trash cans. Pablo Picasso is perhaps the most infamous example of one of the most abusive artists towards his muses, and the artist in the painting is actually supposed to represent him. Picasso became so obsessed with many of his muses and severely blurred the lines between his family and his paintings. Several members of the Picasso family are known to have suffered dearly due to the treatment by him after he finished needing them for his artwork. He almost simply just discarded them from his personal life as well. His son succumbed to severe alcoholism and depression, his grandson drank bleach and to die, 2 of his mistresses hanged themselves, and his second wife shot herself. These very sad but true stories are only a few examples of the abuse of some of the most well-known artists in the world. So the woman in the painting is an attempt to get revenge for all the muses out there who were treated so poorly, not just herself.
The painting uses ethos as well as pathos. As an artist gains followers, their prices for paintings and artwork increases. This can be said for Van Gogh, whose paintings go for $82.5 million, and Bob Ross, whose paintings go for $20,000. The difference is Van Gogh passed away, making his much more valuable since he won't paint again. These prices are both significantly higher than Milstein's $85 artwork. This lower price in artwork can create the idea that the artist is not as credible as the others. Another idea is the detail in Milstein's paintings. Even though his pieces may not cost a lot of money, he shows credibility in the details. He chipped the paint on the walls, painted all the canvases in the painting, and included many pieces of tiny plates that fell to the floor. All of these aspects take a lot of time, something that shows a trustworthy artist. Not only did Milstein spend time on the painting, but he also spent time researching it. He made sure to comprehend the idea of muses' angers from their past mistreatment to correctly depict the idea in this painting. This time spent making sure he was creating a factual image again makes him a more trustworthy artist. One more reason Milstein is deemed credible to his audience is because he has more paintings, all of which have similar techniques and styles, proving he is not a fraud or a one-hit wonder.